Hello guys, Gene here with G Squared Tactical. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are excited to talk to you about the IWI Masada Slim, or S. That's right, it is a slimmed down continuation of the Masada line of pistols, developed with a thin profile and a compact design. It allows for the ease of use of concealed carry and providing substantial magazine capacity. The Masada Slim is a compact polymer striker fired pistol, and like with a full-size Masada, the pistol has a modular, serialized, high-grade steel trigger mechanism housing that can easily be removed for cleaning and for maintenance. Currently offered only in 9mm, the Masada Slim comes with two 13-round magazines, and I'm certain also you can get it with two 10-round magazines for the states that have magazine capacity limitations. It weighs in at just 1.27 pounds without the magazine and 1.4 pounds with the magazine inserted, and has a barrel length of just 3.4 inches. The Masada Slim comes with a white front dot sight and a blacked out rear serrated sight. The sights are cut the same as the full-size Masada and utilizes the RMS Shield optic cut for direct mounting options. This footprint will also allow the user to run the Hollison EPS carry 507KX2, Sig Romeo, etc. Trey and I also mounted the CCW Defender, the new micro optic from Vortex. It will also fit on there as well. The Masada Slim has a flat trigger with a clean and crisp break and a very positive, nice reset, and does have the built-in center blade safety, which prevents the pistol from firing unless the trigger is actually pulled. Overall, the Masada Slim does stay true to the long history of IWI firearms and is built to withstand the elements of time while performing when it matters the most. This has an overall length of 6.8 inches, a height of 5.1, of course without the optic, and a width of just 1.3 inches, and an overall weight of 20.3 ounces. Now that we have all of the formalities, if you will, out of the way, I'll just talk a little bit about what I think about it, what I do like, maybe what I don't like. We did have the original Masada, and I did like it. In fact, a couple of my friends told me on several occasions, "You really like that pistol, don't you?" And I did, but it was thick in the grip. It wasn't necessarily very carryable for me. And also, at the time, I don't know about now, but at the time, it was nearly, if not impossible, to find any raised sights so that I could co-witness with the optic. Now, I do say that most of the time when people complain about a gun not being accurate, it's usually them, okay? And I'm not making excuses, because losers make excuses and winners make adjustments, but it did have those 25mm sights on there, which meant that I always shot low at 15, 10 yards. Had to move it out to about 25 yards to actually hit where I was aiming. And like I said, at that time, it seemingly was nearly impossible for me to find sights for this gun, or for the original Masada, that is. And I just don't like having a gun. Even though I had the optic zeroed, it shot beautifully. I loved how it shot. I loved everything mostly about the gun, except for the sight setup and not being able to co-witness at the time. That may be different now, but at that time I just wasn't able to find anything. To me, now if I'm wrong about this, I no longer have the 48, so I can't compare it to it. Trey has the 43X. But just from memory, to me, this thing feels almost identical in my hand as my Glock 48 felt. Man, it feels amazing, and it doesn't take you long at all to figure out that it is definitely slimmed down. I've seen some side-by-side comparisons of the older one versus this one, and you can tell by picture as well. But holding it in your hand, absolutely phenomenal. So I can't at all complain about that. This glass reinforced polymer here is a very smooth, almost glittery type finish on the lower. I really like it. I really like the texturing on the grip here. It's not overdone. It doesn't snag on your clothes. Just the right amount of texturing for me. It looks as though, I have not verified this, I have not attempted to change it around, but it does look as though you can change the magazine button here, release here for the lefties, for Trey. He'll really like that. And also, as you know, I'm a little bit of a snob about being able to release the magazine without adjusting my grip. Thumbs up for that. Definitely able to do that. And let's see, anything else to talk about on the grip here? Let's move on up to this nice squared off trigger guard. And it certainly helps too that it has a very nice undercut at the trigger, back of the trigger here, that just aids even more so in getting a nice high, really good grip on this gun. Even better so, I would say, than the 48, because it's not cut quite as well on the Glock 48. This flat face trigger is an upgrade, of course, from the original Masada, and as you know, I'm not a trigger snob, so this gun is clear. And as you know, I'm not a trigger snob, so I don't really get into pull weights and things like that. I don't even know what the pull weight on this, and I don't really care. It breaks exactly when you would expect it to, and I mean it stops. It's been a while since I have shot a gun that the trigger stopped that soon after it broke. It breaks very predictably when you think it ought to, and although the reset audibly is not as loud as, say, the reset on a Canic or the Glock was, but it's very tactile. It does, you can feel it pushing back on your hand, and it is very short, definitely shorter than the Glock. Still not quite as short as the Canic pistols, but it is very nice, very nice trigger. Huge upgrade from the original Masada, I can tell you that, just based off of what I can remember. It does have the, as I mentioned already, the U-notch, if you will, sight at the back. It is serrated, it is blacked out, nice big white dot on the front here. And one of the best things is because it does have the micro on here, man, it perfectly zeroes through this, the bottom 1/3, I would say. But I love the fact that I can I can co-witness my sights through this optic without changing anything. Just flush mounting the optic on there, no plates needed. Just beautiful. I really like that. The only thing that I wish they would have done would, maybe they got all of this where they cut this polymer down here lower. I wish maybe, just maybe, they would have put me one little single cut here for like a small optic or something, and I'm sorry, not an optic, but a flashlight or laser or something. There is no cut here for that, and the front of the trigger guard is not serrated or textured in any way. It is just smooth like you would see on some of your other smaller micro. It's not really a micro compact, I would call it more of a subcompact. But yeah, I will say this, that the spring seems pretty doggone tight in comparison to other in its class. I'm sure that that's probably a good thing. We'll see how that goes at the range. Trey and I will be shooting this gun tomorrow. It does have front and rear serrations. The serrations are not super deep or anything, but it is enough that I can get a decent grip on there. And it is more so, I guess, deeper at the top of the slide than it is at the lower part of the slide here. It's not any Stoger deep serrations, but it's kind of, they are canted forward a little bit, and I would say they're a little bit better than the serrations on the Glock, but probably mostly the same. I'm not going to take this down because I was going to show you the recoil spring, captured recoil spring that's provided in here. Two reasons. YouTube don't like when we show how to take guns down, one thing. Second thing is, that is one of my beefs, or two, I guess I have two now, so it's not It doesn't have a pick rail cut up here for any type of light, laser, anything like that. Not sure if there's anything made just yet that will go up there, so that'd be one thing. And the second thing is the way this thing takes down. I mean, you have to lock it back to the lock the slide back, push this little button forward, and if you chew your fingernails like I do, it's not easy to get your finger in there, and you have to pull this pin out. And getting the pin back in there is not the easiest thing in the world either. I guess you could get used to it if that's what you were used to. I wish they would have, as I recall, the other Masada was the same way. I wish they would have, you know what, I wish they would have just made something different there. Maybe one that you turn up and just slide it right off, like on the SIG, the FN, and so forth. The slide lock here stands off nicely. Very easy to manipulate that without adjusting my grip. Does stand off very, very nicely there, and it's serrated. It does not have a protective ledge or anything under it, so I hope I don't accidentally knock it up during shooting like I have a habit of doing sometimes on some guns that doesn't have a protection, or if it sticks off too far on the side. But it is very tactile in that way, very easy to manipulate without adjusting the grip. In the box, we just have your little bag. It has a nice soft, you know, mold here, if you will, that the gun and magazines went into. Like I said, it is metal mags here. It does have the logo for IWI on there. I don't know if they make them or if Metcar or someone makes them. And I have a little tool here to remove my plate and the 2 screws that was in my plate. It did not come with any kind of screws to mount optics or anything like that, which is fine. I was able to use the screws that was in the Hollison 507 that mounted it up here perfectly. And other than that, you have your lock and the owner's. No, actually you don't have an owner's manual. You have to scan this barcode here, or whatever that is. What is that, QR code or something? I don't know. Too old for that crap, I guess. But anyway, you have to scan that there to get an owner's manual, it looks like. And it comes with a sexy little IWI sticker here. Pretty dang big. Probably ain't gonna put that on anything. But anyway, we just wanted to get this up out in front of the range video. We are, unless the Lord doesn't allow us to, or it rains or something. This is gonna be at the range tomorrow, and we're gonna be making this thing smoke a little bit. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for your support. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your alerts so that you know when we do put the video up. And we are going to do 1,000 round consistent burn down on a particular pistol that we're not going to announce just yet. Just kind of a tease, you know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. God bless.